You're listening to Cloud9, where BahaiTeachings.org interviews artists from around the globe to learn about what inspires, uplifts, and motivates them to make a positive contribution to the world. My name is Shadi Talui Wallace. Bass Adjustment is the artist's name of Austrian-based composer, songwriter, and producer Raha Poostchi. Established in 2006, Bass Adjustment's main mission has been to promote unity and diversity and the oneness of humanity through electronic music. Since the release of his debut album, The Style Is to Be Changed, in 2013, his music has been widely featured and remixed by DJs and producers on radio shows and at clubs across the UK and Europe. Drawing on influences from all over the world, Bass Adjustment brings heartfelt, spiritually inspired lyrics to life through Eastern, Latin, and African-inspired melodies and rhythms, with house, pop, soul, and R&B roots. In this episode of Cloud9, we interview Raha from his studio in the Alps of Innsbruck, Austria, about the inspiration and motivation behind the powerful messages of oneness and unity in his music. He opens up about why he believes music can break down barriers and help us think about our contributions to the betterment of the world. He also shares why he's motivated to collaborate with international artists and why lyrics and messaging play such an integral role in his music. Raha, welcome to Cloud9.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with your musical journey. You started out your musical education in classical piano, but soon became really fascinated with the world of electronic music. Where did your interest in music production arrangements come from?
Well, I had the bounty of growing up around people that were making music and also were creating music. My parents, close friends, also people I grew up with. Music was always a part of our daily life. And when playing and learning classical piano, I quickly realized that just playing musical pieces of other composers was not that satisfying to me. So I guess my path towards composing was a quick one. So I started very early to compose my own music. And started to try out new things and see what sounds good. And obviously, of course, I was listening to the radio, and I realized that the music I was listening to and the messages that they spread, the lyrics they used, weren't really the best lyrics out there. And I soon started to think about if I could maybe try to contribute to write good music, but also with positive lyrics. And that's why I actually, at an early age, I started producing and composing myself. At that time, it was also the beginning of home recording. So I really remember I had this very old PC that wasn't really able to do anything else. And I was using like MIDI and this, I don't know, people probably today can't even imagine how it was. There was no internet, anything, but we would make music and make beats using MIDI sounds and this awful sounds that actually now are getting hyped again. These old vintage sounds. Yeah.
They're really popular
now,
again.
Yeah. And I remember it was really frustrating in the beginning because I was hearing these songs in the radio. And I was producing in my home, and I would see, no, this is not like at all similar to what I'm hearing in the radio. So yeah, it was frustrating in the beginning, but yeah, what drives me is this striving for excellence in everything I do, and so I would always try to get better, learn from others, see how others do it, and especially collaborating with others and working in teams with other people helped me a lot to learn and grow.
Right. So Bass Adjustment has been in operation now for about 13 years. Reflecting back to 2006, what was the motivation behind the music that you were creating? You've already mentioned positive lyrics, but what did you feel was really lacking in the general electronic music world? And how is Bass Adjustment going to address that?
Well, I mean, the thing is that when I started out with bass adjustment or producing music, um, I didn't have a concrete idea of going even into electronic music. I'm really bad with genres, actually. Thank God I found out other musicians and producers like you. So I didn't know for a long time what kind of genre I am producing in. But yeah, I mean, I guess the inspiration behind everything in my life is the vision of Baha'u'llah. And one quote from Baha'u'llah resonates deeply with me. And Baha'u'llah says, the earth is but one country and mankind its citizens. And I guess this is the guiding principle for bass adjustment. And actually also this quote I used in one of the songs on the debut album called One Planet. So I guess everything I do is around this vision that the earth is just one country and mankind is like one family. So there is no differences in terms of that people have different values or barriers or anything. So this vision is what really bass adjustment actually my whole life is about. So yeah, I try to combine this love for music I had and the love for Baha'u'llah into bass adjustment, basically. So for me, it was really important that my music reflects this oneness of humankind, but in its diversity. And everything, of course, inspired by the Baha'i concepts and the Baha'i writings. And so I would, of course, address the lyrical part of the music in terms of trying to have positive lyrics and initially even putting the writings of the Baha'i faith into music. But then also to showcase this unity and diversity through the music, actually. So I was trying to combine different styles, different genres of music, and also have within it influences from Latin, Eastern, African music to really show how beautiful this unity, this diversity can be when it's united in a musical piece. And so, and the other aspect, of course, was one thing was to do this all by myself, but I also wanted to show this diversity by collaborating with other artists. And actually, the first album, I think I collaborated with artists from all the continents. And yeah, this is probably all these different aspects are coming back to this principle of unity and diversity. And Baha'u'llah describes it beautifully in one quotation where he says, ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Deal you one with another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship. And then later on, he says, so powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. So this is really, I guess this is the one topic that's probably implicitly in all the songs I create, whether lyrically or through music or through the collaborations. Trying to.
And when you collaborated with these other artists, would you share these quotes and share this vision with them so that you could all kind of be on the same page? Or did you just specifically find people who resonated with this idea of unity and diversity?
I guess it's both. Obviously, some people, when they listen to my previous songs, they would realize immediately. Others I know share the same vision, but I also work with people, very diverse people, and yeah, they know that this is what drives me. This is the vision I'm trying to achieve. And
they want to be part of that vision.
Yes, I think this is what is really the key and the basis of all my collaborations with whomever I work with.
Right. So you began Bass Adjustment in 2006, but it wasn't until 2013 when Bass Adjustment released its first album called The Style Is to Be Changed. Since then, you've produced and released dozens of singles, remixes, and collaborations. And today, your songs are widely featured and remixed by DJs and producers on radio shows and in clubs all around the UK and Europe. Why do you think the response has been so positive, and how does this reflect the values of Bass Adjustment?
Probably really this, although I'm not that aware of it, because I'm probably not the usual person. I listen to music for the sake of music, so I'm not into any genre in terms of the culture that it brings with. But electronic music is probably not really something you would easily combine with positive lyrics and these thoughts that Bass Adjustment is sharing. So probably this is something that is a bit new, and which is also the feedback I'm getting, that Bass Adjustment is known for the positive lyrics, for the positive message that it spreads, combined with good music. And this is what is really important for me. And I believe that music is like a language, a universal one, actually. And it does always transports a message. So I think it's not possible to make music without transporting a message. So we have to choose, whether we want to or not, what kind of message we would like to convey. And I actually very consciously choose to combine positive music with positive lyrics. And I always try to write lyrics that either give people a wake-up call or show them a little bit of the mirror of how the world or society is functioning, but always trying to break down barriers and help to unite people or unite differences, or even see the beauty in diversity. I think it's different when music speaks to the higher nature of people. And so this conversation that is brought into the world through music is a meaningful conversation. So although some artists may think that the musical arrangement or the production is more important than the lyrics, or that people don't really pay attention to lyrics, I believe this not to be true, and that lyrics are important. And even if people don't understand them or don't understand all of it, maybe it still has an effect, and it has an effect on the mind and the heart. And there is a beautiful quote also from the Baha'i writings where this effect is described. And it says, when eloquence of expression, beauty of sense, and sweetness of composition unite with new melodies, the effect is ever great. And that really this beautiful music that is created can affect the minds and impress the hearts of those who listen. So I believe that the effect is always there, but producer, composer, songwriter chooses what this message will be. And even if someone chooses not to care, there's still a message that is being put out there. And I try to choose a positive message. And I hope that Bass Adjustment music help listeners to think about the contribution to the betterment of the world, of society, and actually leads them also to take actions. And there's a beautiful quote in the Baha'i writings that compares service to humanity with service to God. It says service to humanity is service to God. And then it says, all effort and exertion put forth by man from the fullness of his heart is worship, if it is prompted by the highest motives and the will to do service to humanity. This is worship, to serve mankind and to minister to the needs of the people. And then it says, service is prayer. So it's really beautiful how service is combined with prayer, and suddenly this spiritual aspect is combined with very practical element of service, of action.
It occurred to me this weekend, I was part of a workshop, a music writing workshop, and we as a society have become so passive about what we listen to. We just turn on the radio or have Spotify or whatever streaming we use, kind of just mix through a series of songs. And we just become so used to just having it there. But I think listening to positive music or positive lyrics in particular helps us understand that we are still very powerful and can control what we listen to, and recognize that there is this difference between general music and the music that is feeding our higher nature, our spiritual identity. And when we're given the choice, I think people definitely want to be made to feel elevated spiritually and mentally and emotionally. And they want to be exposed to that music. But because it's not so readily available, we just kind of just listen to whatever we have access to or whatever's going on in the background and become very passive. But we need to also learn how we could become more active listeners and more active contributors to music making of a higher nature.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And it's exciting to be part of this movement of musicians too.
Yeah, very much. I think, although I think it's a very humble contribution I'm making, but still, it's something that goes towards the right direction, and I think it helps also the younger generations to more readily come out and follow the same path.
Yeah. So reflecting on the power of messages and lyrics, I actually had the opportunity to collaborate on a song with you about a year ago called "And I Pray." And I was personally really impressed and humbled by the value that you placed on the lyrical component of the songs. So admittedly, I sort of came in a bit clueless and thought you wanted a couple lines here and there to remix, but very quickly learned you were looking for much, much more. And I thought we'd take some time now to talk about this piece and the inspiration behind its musical and lyrical origins, as they're much inspired by our shared belief in the Baha'i faith. So why don't we start by sharing more about the musical arrangement and your vision for this song in particular?
There's different aspects to the concept of prayer and worship. We just mentioned it before, like service is prayer. But I had this idea of making a song that describes the state of prayer, like when a person prays and is alone in a room and prays for himself or herself. And I wanted to create a song that is reflecting this situation, this emotion, musically and lyrically. So it was musically, and the production was downbeat. It was more towards chill kind of vibe. Also quite, for at least for my usual productions, very simple production, not many instruments used there, and to really get the focus on the lyrics, on the vocals. And then we talked a little bit about the lyrics, and we started writing the lyrics. And I think you can tell more about that yourself.
Yeah. So you first came to me and you said, I want to write the song about prayer. And I was really trying to think, how could I translate what prayer means to me into a lyric? And I was really thinking about how I feel free when I pray. And it's this prayer is this ultimate kind of submission to the Creator and putting our trust in the will of the Creator. And so I kind of came up with this hook, and I pray with you, I'll be free. And then I kind of went into this idea of, well, who is the Creator? How do we know that he exists? Well, we're told by the manifestations of God that he exists, but we don't know to what size or scale. So then I was trying to think of God as like this vast ocean, this vast sea. We know it's there, but we don't really know too much about what lies beneath or how large it is. And there's not so many answers, but we know it exists. And so I was thinking about this feeling of prayer as like a river, or, a river that runs into the sea. And we know that blessed is the spot wherever we call God to mind is a place of worship, is a place of prayer. So it could be a room full of people. It could be our couch. It could be in our morning walk. Wherever we pray and connect to the Creator is a special place. And so this with this lyric with you right next to me, I was thinking about how we're always guided and always surrounded by the love of the Creator. And so I came to you with this lyric, and you said it needs more context. Not everyone's going to be able to understand this.
No, it's these lyrics are beautiful when you know the context. And I felt like for us it was clear the context, what we wanted to say. But for others it could be misunderstood as maybe a love song you're singing for another person or something.
Well, it's actually funny that you should mention that, because I personally was experiencing love for the first time in my own relationship. I ended up marrying him not long ago, but I felt very like it was an authentic approach to write about something that I was just experiencing, and then trying to translate that as a metaphor to something so much more greater than this relationship. And that's the relationship with the individual and with the Creator. So this song, which was about love, I guess disguised as love song, became something that was about the Creator. But you coming to me and saying we need more context made me reflect on, okay, how can I make this more practical for like any person to really relate to and understand? And I kind of came into this pre-chorus, or I guess verse, where it talks about the conditions in which we often pray, which is feeling hopeless, feeling anxious, feeling like the world around us is caving in, like not being able to articulate how we feel, and having our hearts open and our palms open and our souls are just craving for that connection with the Creator. We just simply close our eyes and practice this mindful breathing and can easily pray anywhere that we are. And so the song, which was about love, this kind of metaphoric love in a relationship, turned into something that with the context became much greater. And this was this love and connection with the Creator that can be achieved by anybody. And then the end kind of verse or chorus kind of talks about how we've waited for so long for this love being with the Creator, but it makes me feel so strong and it can do me no wrong. And it's this song that's really dedicated to the Creator and the love that I have and that we have for the Creator, and the protection and the confirmations that the Creator provides us.
No, I think it's probably my favorite song right now. I think also with this song, at least I feel I'm getting more and more direct about what I'm trying to say, and this is actually something I'm trying to work on, because I feel we are giving ambiguous messages where someone can interpret this or that a lot. So I think it's better to be more and more direct and clear about the message we want to spread.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what I've learned since the song came out is that a lot of people resonate with the message, regardless of what faith or what philosophy they follow. Definitely. They all want to come to a point where they're being mindful and practicing mindfulness.
Very true. And after all, we're praying all to the same God. So the one place we're all united is really in prayer, and to one God, one Creator. And it's really beautiful.
Yeah, so let's listen to the song in its entirety. anxious, wall caving, words are lost in all the emotion. Hearts beating, palms open, soul's craving. Close my eyes to hear my breath and I pray. And I pray. 'Cause it flows like a river to the sea. And I find the only place I wanna be is right here with you right next to me. And I know that with you I'll be free. With you I'll be free. Oh. It flows like a river to the sea. And I find the only place I wanna be is right here with you right next to me. And I know that with you I'll be free. With you I'll be free. This love for so long, this love has made me feel so strong. This love can do me no wrong. With this love, I wrote you this song. With you I'll be free. With you I'll be free. With you I'll be free. So we just heard And I Pray by Bass Adjustment featuring lyrics by myself. Thank you so much, Raha. It was such a treat to work with you on this particular song.
Thank you. Same here.
So as a musician, how do you believe that listening to music and engaging in music making can advance the spiritual and material conditions of those who live in our communities?
I believe music is probably an essential part of every culture in this world. Music is part of our lives. So we are, in a way, constantly in touch with music, one way or another. When we are doing service in our neighborhoods, in our villages, we usually try to work with the younger generations, with children and youth. And when we study the holy writings and reflect on them and how to put them into action, we usually try to also learn some of these quotations and prayers by heart, and to collectively try to put these passages into music is really a very great way to learn things by heart and to have them integrate them really in your daily life, which helps you then to put them into practice. And this process of making music together based on these meaningful lyrics, the holy writings of prayers, is a very unifying experience. And it's beautiful, and you can really see attracts a lot of people of different ages, different backgrounds, and cultures. No matter where you come from, music is an essential part of your life.
Very true.
And I think it helps also people to nowadays with internet, with music production on your laptop and stuff, it's really easy for people to create music. You don't even need to have knowledge of musical theory or be able to play an instrument. but you can make music. You can express your feelings, your thoughts into music. And I think helping young people in the community to create music that is meaningful and has a meaningful message and helps these youth to understand their role of contributing to the betterment of their environment, of their society. So I think it's a very crucial part in this movement, and the youth just love it. And what better thing than create really good music that everyone likes to listen to and combine them with meaningful messages.
Absolutely.
And I also see, like, generally in music, it has changed a lot with the internet and with the fact that basically everyone has access to music making nowadays. Even the genres are not that clear anymore. I think it's very difficult to say, okay, the pop genre is this, I don't know, the dance genre or EDM or what we call it or whatever. They're not that clear anymore. It's a genre. The lines are blurring, which for me is also a sign of this unity and diversity. So everything is getting mixed and something new is being created. And I think this is also a sign of this world getting more and more united by keeping its diversity and not trying to be uniform in a way. And it allows a lot of people to express themselves through music. And I think it's wonderful. And I think it's definitely everything is going towards the right destination.
Yeah, it's exciting to see how the space will develop over the next few years, with more and more people becoming anxiously concerned with the world around them. Yeah. So Raha, I want to thank you for your time today as we sadly come to the end of this episode of Cloud9. I believe that focusing on producing empowering lyrics in the electronic music world, you're bringing something incredibly unique and valuable to the table. So I want to wish you all the best in your upcoming project.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Cloud9. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to check out BahaiTeachings.org, where you can find more Baha'i-inspired podcasts, videos, and articles.